Welcome to Special Edition. I am Ibrahim Qabil, and in the upcoming hour we are going to bring you live the wrap-up of the parliamentary elections as ballot boxes were closed at exactly 9 p.m. Cairo local time, ending the first stage of the electoral process, the second stage of the parliamentary elections. The parliamentary elections is the third term of the roadmap set by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and in this round, a total of 282 seats will be up for competition in the second stage. The voting lasts for 3 days abroad and inside the country, with 222 seats for independents and 60 seats for party-based lists. More than 28,204,000 are eligible to vote in the second round. Cairo has exactly 2,854 polling stations ready for 7,004,000 voters. The parliamentary elections are supervised by the judiciary system, providing 16,000 judges for the electoral process. Let's kick off tonight's coverage as we have several reports by Nile TV's correspondents from different governorates. From Port Said, we have Nile TV reporter Linda Abdulatif, who conducted the upcoming interview with the Port Said Governor General Magdi Nasruddin.
Port Said Governorate in front of Ashtoum Al-Gamil Primary School, and to update us more on the latest preparations in Port Said Governorate, I'm being joined right now by Governor of Port Said, General Magdi Nasruddin.
Your Excellency Governor, thank you very much for being with us on Nile TV. Thank you very much and welcome to Port Said. At the very beginning, we would like you to speak about the preparation of the governorate regarding the election process. The governorate started to prepare itself a long time ago, and we started by hosting the candidates, all candidates, 88 candidates. We met together in the governorate and we spoke to them that the elections, we need the elections to be done peacefully. 4 will succeed, and I believe all others should support them later on, and we need you to be good in running the elections. And we started to work on 3 dimensions. The first one is the security and the preparation and the voters. As for security, thanks God that we hold meeting under the leadership of the Second Army with all officials and the head of the court to coordinate all security measures. And thanks God that, as you can see, that all over Port Said, that there is a good coordination, and the armed forces took over the security of the governorate. We thank them very much, and the other preparations like some administrative issues like balloting stations, logistics. The school, as you know, the boxes, curtains, offices, the generators, electricity generators in times of power cuts, and the water facilities for winter, for sun shining. Also the wheelchairs for handicapped people. We provided everything in order to facilitate the job of the judge and the security forces and the voters as well. As for the governorate, we worked on the data collection in 218 balloting stations. They are done in the operational room in the governorate. We have a link with the central operational room in the cabinet, and on 9 a.m. we provided all information needed. As we said that on 9 a.m. all the balloting stations are open and operative, and we have no problem anywhere. And we had connection with the cabinet and the governorate, local councils and others, as we have operation centers in different areas, and voters came to the balloting station, and we believe that they will participate in the elections after the end of the working day in order to see more people participating in the elections. I trust them. I trust that they are going to do that for the sake of the governorate and for the sake of the country, as all Egyptians recognize the risk facing Egypt from inside and outside. And Egypt, God willing, will get out of this battle victorious. What about the balloting stations, general and substations? We have 88 candidates and we have one proportional list. And we have 98 election stations, including 218 balloting stations, 460 boxes. All things are good, all balloting stations are open, there is no problem at all in Port Said. Finally, a message you need to send for voters to encourage them to participate. I say to the voters all over Egypt and Port Said specifically that Egypt is facing critical times, as you can see. There are bad guys inside and others outside. We thank God that we need to complete the constitutional structure. We have the president, we have the government, and we have the constitution. We still lack the parliament. We need to complete the constitutional structure to conclude the roadmap, and tomorrow, or if we have runoff, we will complete the constitutional structure for our Republic of Egypt, and we will take forward steps quickly as we are doing now. Thank you very much, Your Excellency Governor. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back, and continuing our wrap-up for today, as security forces provided more than 160,000 related to the military and 180,000 from the police forces to secure all the constituencies. And President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Egypt's First Lady were among the first to cast their votes. 13 of Egypt's governorates are witnessing the electoral process, the second phase of the parliamentary election. And moving to El Daqahliya, where voters casted their ballots in large numbers. We have more details with Nile TV's Nermeen Abdulrahman, who carried out the following interview with El Daqahliya Governor, Mr. Hussam Imam.
Hello Nermeen, a very good afternoon to you.
Hello Yasmin, good afternoon.
Nermeen, please, would you please update me on the situation over there, the turnout, women's participation, and how do you see the difference between the first stage of the elections? I know it's too early to judge, but just a brief opinion.
Yasmin, this is our second coverage from Al Mansoura. We have started from 9 a.m. since the very first minute of the voting process, which started already from 9 a.m. here in Mansoura. Of course, there were some logistical violations or mistakes, irregularities, as you name it, but it was minor irregularities, not to affect the voting process. We knew also that the head of the security directorate of Daqahliya toured many of the polling stations here in Daqahliya to make sure that everything is okay under tight security procedures taken. Also, Minister of Education Hilali Sherbini was here in Mansoura early in the morning to cast his ballot, as he is originally from Mansoura. We are also very much delighted to have with us Mr. Hussam Imam, the governor of Daqahliya, as he was following minute by minute from the main operation room in Al Daqahliya Governorate building or headquarter, all the procedures and all the voting process around Daqahliya. But here he is live with us to tell us more.
I thank you very much, Your Excellency Governor, for being with us on Nile TV. I thank you very much for following up the elections, and this process is saying to the whole world that this people is great and there are fair elections and neutralism to select the best parliament for Egypt. We have seen you in the central operation room to follow up the elections all over the governorate, and now you are doing field visit in Muhammad Amin al-Baz school in Al Mansoura area. Would you please update us regarding what happened? If there was any violation that may affect on the election process, or some logistics, stamps, dodges were delayed in to open the stations or others. From the operation room, we were following up, and we are working 2 months ago, not just these days. We are following up the election process, and we did many exercises to react, how to react to different situations. In the Kahliya, we have 3,920 voters. We have 29 seats, in addition to 8 in the proportional list. There are 11 constituencies. If you are going to consider the preparation, we started 9 a.m. exactly. All stations were open. Yesterday we arranged for the judges, and we did like exercise for them to know well the location of these stations, except for 3 stations, as 2 of the judges faced accident. There is no injury, but the head of the court also was informed regarding this delay. What about the information saying that some officials were sent to investigation as the judges came and didn't found the officials helping them to open the station? There were 2 stations beside each other, and the judge objected that, and he asked to move one of the stations away from the other one. Would you please tell us about the coordination between the armed forces and the police? We have seen General Shaban, he was checking the preparation himself. We need to know exactly how the armed forces and the police are coordinating together. The armed forces, the police, and the local council, the head of the civil defense forces, and different line officials, they met together to arrange for the procedures of elections in Al Mansoura Governorate to make it a good example for the whole world. I thank you very much, Your Excellency, and hopefully we will meet you again during this election process. Thank you very much, and we wish all success for you.
Would like to
ask
Yasmin,
about... this was our interview with His Excellency, the Governor of the Qahliya, Mr. Hussam Imam.
Okay, did you get the chance to talk to people, the voters, about their participation in those elections, and how do they view it as important participation?
Yasmin, you know that we are in the electoral silence period, so I'm not going to mention neither names of the candidates nor the parties themselves. But all in all, Mansoura in specific is a little bit tribal. I mean, we do believe not in words but in deeds. I mean, it's not the slogan, or this is what I was told by people here. We are not deceived by the slogans made by the candidates. We knew who are those people, as they are from Mansoura. Many of them, they do have political experience years and years ago. Here people are not thinking about the remnants or the so-called fulul or the so-called people who are coming or who are accounted, or I can say that they belong or are affiliated to the last regimes. Here people are thinking about who should represent them and fulfill the mission
to represent the Egyptian in the coming parliament, which is going to have massive powers according to the new constitution. When I was talking to people here, and especially women, I found that they are totally aware of their political rights and also of the missions or the responsibilities which are going to be shouldered by the coming parliament, inshallah.
Well, the High Electoral Commission is supervising the electoral process, providing more than 16,000 judges. Also, 81 non-governmental and local organizations are witnessing the event, in addition to 68 foreign envoys from different international embassies. And with us over the phone, we have Dr. Hussein Shereba, a political analyst. Dr. Hussein, good evening. Sir, would like to tell us, how do you read the current situation concerned with the first day of the electoral process?
Of the electoral process, I think this is going to put Egypt somewhere, one of the countries which is going to have a very good opportunities of investment in Egypt or in the Middle East, better than any country worldwide. Because if you have the power and you have the stable country, and you have the good environment, and you have the candidates, you have everything. And what did the President Sisi and the Prime Minister did the last, both Prime Ministers, did good opportunities in gaining this power back again. We used to have shortage of power during the, let's say, the Muslim terrorist group, and we were suffering, not having a good time in Egypt. But right now, you can see the electricity is everywhere, even in the very tiny areas and the suburb of other cities of Asyut or Aswan, or even in Cairo itself, the very far distance, everything is there. But we need to cope with the Gulf area also, because Saudi has electricity, and you know there is a difference of timing between us and the Gulf is 2 hours. So in the peak hour of Saudi will be in the low hours in Egypt, so we can give and gain from them.
Dr. Shereba, let's stay domestically, and would like to tell us how far do you see that the internal security atmosphere provided a safe haven for voters in order to go to the ballot boxes and cast their votes? And also would like to tell us your concern with the turnout from the different, from the several stage of the parliamentary elections.
Well, I would like to thank the army, and I would like to thank the police department. I went over there, and not me only, but the people everywhere, even in Sinai where the Helix is there. It was wonderful. It's like a sunset. We do have our great people and great men working hard for the safety and the security of this country. And this goes without saying. I'm not blessing them or saying something which is not there. It is there. I see it when I walk in. When you go up, everything is very neat and very organized, and it shows Egypt is coming back again in very stable and powerful ways. So this is why this country is blessed by God, not of God.
Dr. Shereba, again, let's make a connection between the voters and the deputies. Let's make a connection between the high hopes of the voters and the task ahead of the deputies. What do you expect?
What do you mean? What do I expect of what?
Yes, what do you expect of the tasks, the heavy tasks ahead of the deputies of the parliament in order to provide development and a better life for Egyptian people?
Well, the better life is already started from...
I mean, what are the main tasks of the deputies ahead in order to provide better life for the voters who are casting their ballots today?
My friend, let me tell you, I want to say it clear. Better life already started, but we need all people. It's not the government, it's not the president. We need all people to put hand to hand with the government, with the president, and we have to work personally, hand by hand. We have to work hard. It's not a honeymoon, and it's not a very smooth area. We are in a great battle, same as 1973, or even difficult. We need to reorganize our, what you call our needs. If things we are not in need to get it from outside, let's use what we have inside. We as a country are right now under very comfortable, stable things. You have the prices have been dropped right now between 10 to 15%, which is very good. The people are, you can watch on their faces how they are appreciating what the government is doing, what even the businessmen who are supplying 70% of the products in the market, they are very, very happy to see the smile back again to the people on the street. When they lowered their prices and they made their profits very limited profits, this is a good thing. This is a good sign, and this is a cooperation, and we will do more.
Indeed. Dr. Hussein Shariba, political analyst, thank you very much for being with us on Nile TV International.
Thank you, sir.
And back again to our reporters, several governorates, and still we are resuming our coverage from there and moving to the capital, Cairo, where it has 2,854 polling stations ready for 7,042,000 voters. Nile TV's Mona Nusulhi brought us more about the voting process at El Sayeda Zainab, one of Cairo's main suburbs.
Mona, would you please update me on the latest developments in Sayeda Zainab? Tell me about the turnout. How was it?
If you're asking about the turnout, then this is the second phase of the parliamentary elections. This is, I don't know if it is surprising or not, but the turnout today since the early morning was much better and far than we have expected. Since the early morning, we've seen two lines standing here before the this polling station, waiting for the judges even and of course the security, for the judges to let them in and give them the permission to start the process. And since then, we've been seeing a turnout kind of, we cannot say moderate, but rather better than this term, which we can say that it is high to a certain extent. Hela.
Okay, Mona, would you please tell me about the security presence? I mean, the police and the army. How is the security situation over there at the Sayeda Zainab?
Yes. Hala, security here is on the highest alert. If you can just imagine that we're or this polling station. Yes. Right, Yasmin. So I'm telling you that this is this polling is being on the high security alert. There are SWAT forces along with the police forces. Both of them are securing this polling station. If I may speak a little bit about this polling station, because it has a kind of high number of eligible voters. We're speaking about more than 11,000 in 4 sub-polling stations. If you want to know more details about Sayyida Zainab constituency at large, we're speaking about 17 main polling stations in Sayyida Zainab, of course, plus the sub-polling stations, other polling stations. We're speaking about 196,000 eligible voters. It's a kind of constituency. But its importance comes from being a very historical place, a popular place where it really transfers the real feelings and emotions of people. Since we're speaking about real Egyptians or the very old Egyptians or the very old areas of Egypt. So this is the importance of this constituency. Also speaking about 21 candidates competing for just one seat. So it is a high number of candidates. You're also speaking about a constituency that was always for the NDPs or the head of the Parliament during the Mubarak era. It was always dominated by him. So we are speaking about the dominance of maybe businessmen. We're speaking about the dominance of many segments or many candidates from different segments. Yasmin.
So have you witnessed any irregularities or any sort of fraud while you're standing over there in this constituency, Mona?
I'm speaking about a very high competition. I'm speaking about 21 candidates for individuals competing just for one seat. If we're speaking about lists, the list, it's a different story because the lists are competing for the Cairo governorate at large. So we're speaking about 4 lists competing for the Cairo governorate at large. Yasmin.
Did you get the chance
of course,
to talk?
we have to understand that this is also a working day. So I guess that
it's too early to judge.
Speaking about a high turnout, we are expecting that even to increase in the afternoon. But let me tell you that we have seen up till this minute like more than 4 or 5 of the observation team internationally. We're speaking about an observation team from the African Union. We're speaking about an observing team from Mozambique, and which are also who are also representing the SADC. We're speaking about this international local commission, common commission. We are speaking about different journalism or journalists from different international journals and media outlets. So we are speaking about a very even high observation to this second phase.
Okay,
Yasmin.
but regarding the women's participation and the youth participation, have you witnessed or how do you evaluate their participation in those elections? I know it's too early to judge the turnout, but women's and youth participation, how do you see it, Mona?
Yes, well, as I asked some of the some members of the teams that observed the situation in different polling stations, they said that they passed through different ones. Now, those who passed in the early morning, they said that there was a kind of good turnout this time. They said that the atmosphere of the elections in itself is going in a very smooth way, that all the procedures that were taken to ensure that the whole process goes on in a very smooth and simple, and that issues are being facilitated. They observed all these issues.
Okay.
Some of them passed by, I mean, midday and before the afternoon. And of course, it was the turnout was not as in the early morning or as we expect in the upcoming hours. But of course, since they are not very much aware by the timing people or what time people would really be in or will be able to really cast their voices, this is why they might be in doubt of what exactly could be the turnout. But they wouldn't speak more than that.
securing the constituencies as police forces provided more than 180,000 fighters and police officers, as well as the military provided more than 160,000 fighters and police officers. Also, air patrols hovered ahead in several governorates for more security. And earlier, our correspondent Yasmin Bakir was there at one of the polling stations, the same where President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi casted his vote in Heliopolis area, and brought us the following details.
Hello, Yasmin. A very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. Let me tell you a little bit about where I'm standing right now. I'm in the constituency of Heliopolis. It's also one of the main constituencies of both this area and Nuzha. And I'm also standing from right where the committee of where the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has earlier casted his vote. The polling stations, they have opened at 9 a.m. Cairo local time sharp, where the Egyptian President was the first person to come and cast his vote. We are expecting that this polling station or this committee is going to be closed down by 9 p.m. Cairo local time. But of course, this is going to be known towards the end of the day. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this committee. This is a main committee, as I said, 5 subcommittees. Each committee, a councillor is in charge of it. There's 44 candidates running for this committee, 15 parties, 29 individuals, and 4 lists, including في حب مصر and Al-Noor party. If there's anything else you would want to know about the security status or the turnout.
Okay, Yasmin, so would you please update me on the security situation over there, the presence of both the army and the police at the committee where you're standing?
Yes, if I believe I heard you correctly, you're asking about the security status. Yes, of course, there's a lot of tight security indeed. Everything is very well organized. The flow of the voters who are, mind you, let me also let you know more about the eligible voters who are allowed to vote in this committee is around 9,600. At the very early hours, maybe we're talking about from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning, there was quite a heavy flow. We're seeing a lot of females, very impressive, of different age groups taking part, also elderly people. The turnout went a bit down towards the early afternoon. Of course, this is because it's a working day. We understand that. But again, as you see now, there's it's quite increasing gradually. We are expecting the numbers to variously increase towards the end of the evening. And as far as I know, as far as I've spoken to many people who are here, they're very optimistic, and they're very pleased also with the way the organization and the easy flow of the voting process is taking place.
And let's make a quick list of the governorates that voting is taking place. We have Cairo, قليوبية, دقهلية, منوفية, الغربية, كفر الشيخ, الإسماعيلية, بورسعيد, دمياط, شرقية, سويس, and North Sinai. And back to Cairo once again, and moving to the north, where Nile TV's correspondent Riham Morsi conducted the following interview with Mr. Ahmed Sak, Deputy of Cairo Governor.
Correspondent Riham Morsi from Shobra district. Hello, Riham. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to Yasmin. I'm joined this afternoon by General Ahmed Sakr, who is the governor for Cairo, the northern districts. He's going to talk to us a bit about what he saw here in the different polling and elections stations here. حضرتك ممكن تقول لنا ايه المشاكل
tell us about the problems that faced the citizens in the elections today. We are now in الترفيقية, a school in Rud al-Faraj, which is affiliated to northern part of Cairo Governorate. As we all know that Cairo Governorate has 4 areas, Shobras, and this area exactly includes Shobras, Sahel, Rud al-Faraj, Hadaiq, Ambariya. The number of balloting stations here, we have 5 general balloting stations, and we have 199 sub as you can. We have 696. A number of those included in the this area, we have about 4 million voters who are eligible to vote in balloting stations I referred to. And thank God that we delivered the balloting stations after being prepared by the Cairo governorate and also the local councils. And yesterday they were delivered to the security forces, to armed forces and the police forces, and also judges received envelopes and all logistic materials in order to start the election process. And thanks God that the election started at 9 a.m. and the forces were in position, and all balloting stations were cleared of anything that may violate the security measures. And from 9 a.m. the post started, and as we can see now, the people are going to vote in these stations. We secured the area totally, and also the Ministry of Interior said in coordination with armed forces in order to secure all streets that are beside the balloting station. We are securing the balloting station, as you can see, by the armed forces and the police, in order not to have anything that may disturb the process. And they are ready to deal with any action that may affect on the process. And we pray to Allah that nothing will happen. Until now we have no violation, and I didn't hear about any violation regarding any accident all over the country as happened in the first round. And on this occasion, I thank very much and appreciate all our colleagues in armed forces and the police forces for their efforts exerted to secure the process. And now the turnout is not intensive, but I believe after the working day, I believe the people will come intensively to participate in the elections. And these stations are open to 9 p.m. and tomorrow from 9 a.m. also the stations will work again to receive all people from different stations. We have a security plan to secure voters, candidates, balloting station, judges, counting process, judges while receiving envelopes, media, civil society. Another final question: what is the role of the governorate in the coordination with the armed forces or the police? How you help in the process? We have vital and main role to prepare all balloting stations, and we are linking among different security forces, whether those who are from the armed forces and the police. We are working as one hand in order to manage the balloting station. And if you are considering the previous elections, like we had seen killing or any violence, we didn't have seen any of those in the first round or the second round. Thank you very much.
Also, Sunday was the last day for voting for expatriates, as expatriates cast their votes across 139 constituencies across different countries. And back home again to Port Said, but this time on the security front, where Nile TV's Linda Abdulatif made the following interview with the Director of Security Operations of Port Said Governorate.
لواء، شكرا لانضمام حضرتك لينا على قناة النيل الدولية.
اهلا وسهلا، شرفتونا وشرفتوا مدينه بورسعيد ومحافظه.
بداية سيادة اللواء، ما هي الإجراءات المتخذة من قبل مديرية أمن بورسعيد من أجل تأمين اللجان الانتخابية وأيضا المناطق الحيوية بمحافظة بورسعيد؟
طبعا تم إعداد خطة تأمين جيدة ومكثفة للانتشار في جميع أرجاء المحافظة لتأمين جميع المنشآت والمباني
the facilities and the important buildings, the roads, the entrance, the exit, and also to secure the balloting stations, to qualify them for the elections, also to prepare routes to the balloting stations, and to clear the roads from any explosives and also any elements that may do that. As you can see, the security forces and patrons all over the city, and the security position that is intensified during the election process in cooperation with the armed forces. What about other agencies helping you in the security process? We are coordinating all the time with the armed forces. As for the preparation of the elections, of course, we are coordinating with the minister, the governor, and other relevant agencies, and in order to prepare, whereas you can see this decent level of the process, the citizen can vote easily. We have here umbrella seats, and also we equipped the schools with all facilities required for heads of the balloting stations in order to make sure that it is secure and it is appropriate for the voting process. Your Excellency General, the election process is a proof that the police and armed forces are one hand. It is not just the parliament election. We are all the time one hand, and it is not just the police and the armed forces. It is the police, the armed forces, and the people with them. And Egypt is saved by Allah. We pray to Allah to save us all the time. Thank you very much, Your Excellency General. That's on Nile TV.
Directorate right here in Port Said Governorate in front of Ashtumi Gamil School. Now, to give you just a little bit of a background on how things have been going from the early morning up till that moment. Now, starting from 8:30 a.m., women have been gathering in front of the polling stations right here in Ashtumi Gamil School in order to participate and be part of this very important day. Now, Ashtumi Gamil School, where we are standing in front of right now, has a total number of 7,119 registered women. So this school are only for women. For the voters, the total number of registered voters, who are 7,119, are all women. And I've seen women from different age groups actually keen to participate and of this day. Now also, as you've heard, there's heightened and tightened security measures that are taken right here, not only in front of this school, but throughout the whole area and throughout the Port Said Governorate, and more specifically around the polling stations that are available in Port Said. Now also, I conducted a couple of hours ago an interview with the governor of Port Said, who told me that there are a lot of facilities that have been provided right here in the school in order to ease the process of the voting process of the 2015 parliamentary elections, and that includes the providing of wheelchairs in order to ease the voting process. And also there are tents right here in order to secure, or let's say prevent the sunlight, and also just in case rain occurs. Now also there are here electricity generators in case of any power cuts that occurs, and there are also water services that are provided right here in the school of Ashtumi Gamil in Port Said Governorate.
Well, that's all for the wrap-up of the electoral process of the parliamentary elections 2015. And still Monday resumes with its activities of casting ballots for voters. And that's all for now. Stay tuned for more coming up.